Hello Pokemon fans, this is Pro Pokenoob back today to bring you another battle. Today it will be a 5th Gen NU match against a person by the name of Randreze. Gotta get the rolling going. But anyways, so this battle is back from July 8th, 2013, so obviously I've dipped into the archives. This will actually be one of the last battles that I have saved up from last year, so running low on content, not out. I'm running low, but I have more than enough to sustain us for the next little while, especially since I'm entering exam and crunch time right now. So don't worry about it. We'll get tons of stuff going. I think we'll be okay for the next month or so. I think we'll be all right. So, anyways, this is an old team that I had. You might recognize someone in particular right at the far right side there, ladies and gentlemen. Floaty, the Destroyer of Worlds, is back in his 5th Gen glory when Flying Gem was allowed. Yeah. Back when it was allowed, Flying Gen Acrobatics, but unfortunately it has been erased. But just a quick review of my team. That is a sub-combine Pitaya Berry Simple Swoobats, also known as I Love Booby Swoobat. You might remember that. Scarf Sock, standard setup Armaldo. Electros with, I believe, was the physical one with Dragon Tail and T-Wave. I think it was like the Dragonite knockoff, and then Life Orb, Nasty Plot, Simipour, and of course Floating Destroyer of Worlds. My opponent's team, he's got some interesting choices. He's got the Beartic, he's got Grumpig, which you kind of saw, kind of didn't. It's a good Pokemon, but it was run only half the time, really, because he had stuff like, he had like Gardevoir back then and things like that for NU, so sometimes it was better just as a wall, as a setup, but I mean, it wasn't as used. I think it should be pretty good. It's pretty good. I think it should be used more often, but anyways. He also has the Muck, which is just a pain in the butt. So, didn't really know what to expect from this team, and of course this is back from July, so what I'm going to try and do, guess my own logic back then? No. I'm going to lead off with Armaldo. He's going to decide to lead off with the Torkoal. I'm okay with this. Actually, I lied. I lead off with Floaty, the Destroyer of Worlds, because Floaty doesn't want Armaldo in the front. He just takes over right away, goes for the Sleep Powder, no problem. He's going to switch out now, give it to Armaldo, because, you know, Floaty is a greedy mother fricker, but I mean, he's the star of the show. I can't take that away from Floaty. I'm sorry, guys. But anyways, the real star, well, for now, is Armaldo hitting 5 Rock Blasts. This thing has never failed, never ceased to amaze me how many Rock Blasts it can hit. It averages 4 to 5. It doesn't average 2 to 5. It averages 4 to 5. I'm serious. Missed the Toxic on the Lapras. He's actually going to get his own Toxic off on me, which is not the greatest, but that's okay, because I'm going to go for Rock Blast. And ladies and gentlemen, I am going to hit 3, 4, 5. I hit 5 more. That's 10 Rock Blasts in 3 moves. That's incredible. Incredible work on Marlo. But he gets to switch out now because he's really damaged. He's going to go into Muck, though. This is not good. I also make a switch and go out into my Simipour. Now, here you might see this is a little weird play, and I go for the Surf because I thought I'd do a little bit more, probably. It does jack all, and he goes for Crystal. I'm like, oh, God. But, ladies and gentlemen, I need you to quickly pay attention to the amount of damage I did. It was 34%. Remember that number, 34. It's going to matter sometime in the future. I'm going to have to switch out now, because I can't do anything. He's going to set up and kill me. I'm going to go into Electros. Now, this also kind of matters. He gets the Poison with the Poison Jab. The reason why it matters is I could have taken 2 more hits as opposed to 1 more, which means I could have gone for a T-Wave and then potentially would have gotten Parahaxed, and I go for the Dragon Tail and prevented this from dying. And, you know, maybe have kept some better momentum for myself and let Electros die to someone else. But unfortunately, that's not going to end up happening. So I am going to go into the Swoobat. And because he's paralyzed, I'm going to risk the Parahax, go for the sub. Hope to God he gets confused, paralyzed, whatever the heck he's doing right now. He's paralyzed, and he gets paralyzed. So that's perfect. I'm behind a sub. He's going to go to Grumpig. I go for the Calm Mind. Now, he sends in the Grumpig. I'm like, oh, he can't do anything. What's he going to do? I'm at +4, special defense. This thing runs Whirlwind, doesn't it? Yeah, that sucks. And I'm hurt, but that's okay, because if you think about it, I do have the Pitaya Berry, so I get the +2 special attack next time I switch in. Get on something faster? Bam, slower, I'm faster. Yes, substitute out from the Grumpig, not cool. I go into Armaldo to try and Toxic this thing, but instead I'm going to have to go for Rock Blast, because he's setting up his own Calm Minds. This is like the fat version of Swoobat, the grounded fat version. But luckily, because my Armaldo was a god, he gets 4 more Rock Blasts, breaks the sub, and does a decent amount of damage to this thing. So now he's got 1 of 2 options. Kill me or go for sub and risk it again, because right now, I'm not missing Rock Blasts. Kills me off. I'm pretty sure I went for Rock Blast again in case he tried to risk it with the Rock Blast. So, going to Floaty, though, because, I mean, Floaty is just, he knows what he's doing. He puts this thing to sleep. He knows it's a threat. He says, screw you. I'm going to set up Destroy the World. And that's what he's going to do. He's going to go for the Swords Dance, ladies and gentlemen. You know what's coming. you know it's the end, because Floaty at +2 just mutilates everything, and here you go. Slice right through the frickin' pig. Nice pork chop for everyone. Wonderful stuff. Now, unfortunately, Furry Crotch Beartic here takes it a little too well and like just destroys Floaty. So he's gonna take a back seat. He took out a threat. He took out one giant threat. It's okay. He sets up for the rest of the team. Now I can send in Swoobat, who's gonna be faster. Thank God this guy's not running Aqua Jet. I was fearing that, and I do pick him off with the Psychic. So I'm at +2 special attack. Now, there's something interesting that he does here, and he sends in the Lapras, which makes me think that his Muck doesn't have Shadow Sneak, because if Muck carries Shadow Sneak, he would have sent out. But I killed the Lapras and I'm going, oh, I guess I have a free sweep here, because this thing didn't have Ice Shard, because that's what I was fearing as well. Now I remember why I kept this battle, because I thought Beartic had Aqua Jet, and Lapras had Ice Shard, so I'm like, okay, this guy's just going to pick me off for priority. And then he sends in the Muck, and it does carry the Shadow Sneak, so it just made me feel like he wasted his Lapras there. But, I mean, whatever, so, works out for me in the end. Now, here, unfortunately, it comes down to this, because I have to set up to +4. And the reason why I say +4 is I've checked this, remember, I went for a Surf, and that number 34% I told you to remember, that's the number. I have to do a clean kill on this thing. I outspeed everything, I outspeed the Haunter, I outspeed the Torkoal. I'll be able to one-shot everything at +4. This implies that he gets Parahaxed on this next turn. Luckily, he goes for the Curse, but he does have to get Parahaxed on this next turn as I go for the +4. Now, ladies and gentlemen, he is going to go for the something, because I go for Nasty Plot first, and he hits me with the poison jab and kills me. Now, yeah, that sucks. What sucks even more is the fact that I realized that Sock should have been the first thing I went into. Look at that damage. And look at that damage. Now, yeah. I'm gonna have to explain this to you. Ladies and gentlemen, if you do not know, or if you do know, Sock gets Mold Breaker. Sock gets Mold Breaker. I could have sent him in first, gone for Earthquake on this thing. If he didn't kill me, I would have killed everything on his team, because I would have outsped the Haunter, and I would have outsped the Torkoal, I would have gone for Earthquake and one-shot both of them. If he, however, did kill my Sock, this thing would have been at low enough HP where I could have come in, gone for +2, because he would have had to set up a +1. Actually, no. Well, no, it was because he would be low enough to the point where I would be able to just go for Surf, not have to set up, and pick off his Haunter and his Torkoal. So technically, I could have won that if I had sent in Sock before Simipour. However, 9-month oversight is a 9-month oversight, and hindsight is 20/20. I don't know which one to use at that point. I think it's hindsight, but, you know, both sites have been blinded by time, and that's the reality. So if I had sent in Sock first, I actually would have stood a better chance at winning this. Especially if he didn't set up the Curse, because then, you know, if this thing was dead, Haunter comes in, okay, I can kill him with Surf. So that's unfortunate. That's a really good game, though, Randreze. Close. I've misplayed that a little bit. And, you know, it really sucks to end off on a loss, so why don't we just bring out a game with Durant? Yeah, that's a good idea. So we have a RU match, 5th Gen RU against Rosemarb. Rosemarb. So many R's today, I get to roll all the R's. Lovely. I'll do the Italian rolls too, because the French rolls are... I can't do it. So, yeah. He's got a team. He's got a threatening team, actually. But, you know, I mean... You now have the Durant team. You have the Metallic Brilliance sitting on the far left, as always, at the helm. Whereas Floaty waited in the back, scaring the lives. He's like, I'm waiting for you. I'm coming to get you. Durant's like, you already know I'm going to come and get you. Just put me in the front and kill everything. No problem. Give me the gravity. Bam! Destruction. But now, it's even better, because he gets to do it in 3D. Oh yeah, people. Let's get this started. So he's going to lead off with the Crustle. I am going to lead off with the Golurk, because this is when I had Golurk. Did I ever replace Golurk? I forget. I go for the Dynamic Punch, though. I'm going to get the confusion on him. And this is when I was running No Guard, before I ran Iron Fist. I used to have Dynamic Punch with No Guard, but... yeah, I used to have No Guard with Dynamic Punch, but then I realized that Iron Fist does a little bit more, and I tucked it over to other people. So I'm going to go for the Earthquake, do a decent amount of damage to this Crustle. This thing keeps smacking itself in the big sediment on top of its body. But, I mean, that's expected. I'm going to go for the Earthquake yet again. He breaks out of confusion, though. He's going to get some spikes up, which is okay. Most of my team is not really going to mind it, per se. Now, I go for the Dynamic Punch mainly because in case he switched out into Rotom Cut, if you wanted to save this thing for Death Water, but luckily it hit itself in confusion because he was going to stay in and do something like another layer of spikes. So, evidently, it was just meant to die. If you also notice, this one does not have percentages because this was recorded in March of last year. Wow, March 22nd of last year, and that's when Smogon was testing without the percentages in the match. So, if in case you're wondering, I go for the T-Wave. He has a Lumberry. Completely forgot about that. I'm not a fairy type yet. I'm dead. Owie. So, that's one gravity setup user in there. But now I'm going to go to Burst the Inferno because I am Scarfed. This thing doesn't have Aqua Jet yet, so I get to go for the Focus Blast, destroy the Crawdaunt, and that's pretty cool. Yep, can't use Aqua Jet. Unfortunately. He's going to go to Slowking, though. He knows I'm Scarfed. And I'm just going to switch out because I have to. And I'm going to go into Bio Blow because this is the thing that can take on most hits. I'm pretty sure he will not go for a Psychic hit. I'm risking this quite a bit. Oh, just kidding. I wanted to kill myself. Yeah, I think actually I wanted to kill myself because I need to get in my Executor. And Executor is actually the more important one out of both walls because it actually can do a decent amount of work on everyone. First of all, Leaf Storm will Slowking to death. Very, very sharp shot. And now he's going to go to Rotom-Mow. Now, at this point, I stayed in because I knew he had Trick, because a lot of these things ran Trick, so I'm like, okay, I'm just going to go for the rest. Outsmart you completely. I just went for rest, and you gave me a Choice Scarf. Fudge! So, I'm stuck with a Choice Scarf resting Executor. And he's going to go into Hariyama, which means he gets a free setup of his Toxic Orb, or what I thought was Toxic Orb. It's actually Flame Orb. Now, of course, we know that Flame Orb means that he's in more for just dealing damage and get out. Or no, sorry, he's in for more taking damage, but he's going to stay in for a long time. So this man's here to brawl. But I know I'm Scarf, so I know I can get a rest off and build up the residual damage on this Hariyama until it's time for my, you know, Metallic Brilliance to come in and just sweep everything, right? But something even more miraculous happens. Ladies and gentlemen, take a good look at how much health you could predict this thing has lost. This thing isn't running thick fat. Bursty Inferno outspeeds, takes the bulleted punches to the belly, doesn't even need the flames, fire blasts this thing to death, and of course, because the Rotom cut traded off its Choice Scarf to my Executor, ladies and gentlemen, he has given me a free win without me even having to bring out the Metallic Brilliance. The moment he traded away that Scarf, he traded away his win and my chance to take him out completely with Typhlosion. Bam! How is that for some payback with the tricks? Comment, rate, and subscribe, everyone. I hope you enjoyed these battles. Yeah, that was a bad joke, by the way. I'm sorry about that. That was actually the last 2 matches. I wanted to hide the fact that I had 2 matches. But that was actually the last 2 matches in the archives for really old ones. So, we're up to relatively good date. Have some different types of matches, have some doubles coming. Also have a different generation that I said I would try, and I delved into and literally got destroyed in, but that'll be fun to watch. And, of course, some OU stuff. Paying attention also to the recent bans and the recent suspect testing. I think I mentioned this before. No, I didn't actually, because it got erased, but because why not? The thing about the Genesect, the Mega Lucario, the Deoxys Speed, the Mega Pinsir, stuff like that, and the Smogon's doubles testing, I have officially taken that off my list. I will not talk about those unless they are brought up in the near future. With recent things that had happened about a month ago? A few weeks ago at least, a couple of weeks ago at least, where we were having some issues in the VGC community with stupid YouTubers arguing everywhere. I decided I'm not going to make my video a random video that's going to pop up and then people are going to start throwing opinions on me. I just don't want to take that risk, and it's really dumb. Like how people fight on the internet. We're all faceless. Even when you put your face on the screen, like when I do video things, we're still faceless. You don't know who I am. For all you know, I could be a psychopathic killer, and everything behind me, that bookshelf that's behind me, could be stuffed with bodies. You don't know that, people. But seriously, there's no bodies here. Don't tell anyone. There's no. But thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Until then, have an excellent day.